Welcome to Innovation Alchemy. My name is Adam Castle. I am your host, and this is the podcast that explores the magic, the mess, and the mastery of innovation and those who are bold enough and brave enough to build it. Now, before we get started today, I want to give a shout out to our amazing producer, John, and the team at Clear Rock. If you've been following along with the podcast these last few years, Clear Rock Studios in Windsor has been making us sound good and maybe look good for over the last couple of years, and we are so grateful to have them on their team. Now, this series of podcasts and this episode that you're about to watch today is part of a series that focuses in on our annual ScaleUP Accelerator. The ScaleUP Accelerator brought to you by the Government of Ontario and Libro Credit Union, as well as FedDev Ontario. Now, ScaleUP is a 6-month accelerator program that focuses on companies that are in that sweet spot going from 0 to 1. And so a lot of the questions today are going to be around that 0 to 1 phase. And you might be asking, what in the heck is 0 to 1? And I'm very glad you asked, because 0 to 1 is that point where a business goes from idea to impact. It starts to have real things like real customers, real challenges, and real constraints. And so when we're talking to these startups, they're at that point where real is becoming really tough. And so we're really excited to have these conversations today to dive into that very specific stage in a startup life cycle and have you learn along with us. So thank you so much and enjoy. All right, ladies and gentlemen, for this conversation, I'm joined by the team from JSB Innovations, Bhwaya, our CEO, and as well as Lina Rose, the CTO. Thank you so much for joining me here today, team.
Thank you, Adam, for joining us.
Yeah, so, healthcare innovation often sounds distant from the way that it actually affects patients. So you're building something that really has a lot of benefits, both from a patient perspective and the clinician perspective as well. So I'm really excited to have this conversation and dive in with you today. To start us off, what is JSB Innovations building? Why is it so important to tackle this problem now? And what have you kind of learned along the way?
So the JSB Innovation is addressing a big problem in sleep health clinics. So what happened in the problem scenario is like there is a huge wait time. Lina, tell me about the people there who are suffering from the sleep apnea.
Yeah. There are millions of people who suffer from sleep apnea. Mm-hmm. The problem here is not the sleep apnea alone. It is the limitations to access to the diagnosis and limited space availability. So traditionally we use, in the sleep lab test, they use a process called as polysomnography, which is very bulky equipment, uncomfortable clinical settings, and very expensive.
Yeah, so the solution that we are providing to the region and the Windsor Essex people, many people will resonate with that, is a at-home sleep testing device, which is as precise as the clinical grade device. So we have tested with the spirometer, which is a clinical grade equipment. And this device is comfortable, small, and easy to put on one person, and it does not require a high-end technical understanding of the device.
Amazing. So it sounds like you're really tackling a systems challenge, which is it's not just the ailment or not just the disease, it's something much bigger, right? It's access to care, it's timeliness to care. So there's a lot of factors in there that you're daring to change within this process. When you look at patient experience from this perspective, how does your device directly address the way a patient is going to experience these testings?
So there is only a limit of on an average 6 to 8 beds. Okay. 6 to 8 beds are available at the sleep clinic. Because of that, there's long waiting time. Like some people have to enroll themselves on cancellation list,
right?
In order to get the access.
But wait, you said how many people are suffering with this?
6.5 million people just in Canada.
So 6 beds is probably not cutting it when it comes to these tests.
Exactly.
Okay.
No. So what we are doing, we are increasing the capacity of the sleep clinics. So we are going to run the pilot test for our device, and in that test we are going to hand over some of our units to the sleep clinic and say this is going to come in the market soon, and patients who are willing to test this device, they can put it on, they can test it at their home, and we can and the result can be analyzed by the physicians at the sleep clinic themselves. They don't even have to come to the sleep clinic for that.
Really cool. So as someone has done these sleep studies, there are wires everywhere. It is the least natural place to sleep probably I've ever experienced outside of like the floor of an airport. It's not comfortable. And so, when you're thinking about actively or accurately judging just how pervasive this problem is of sleep apnea, if you're not getting a decent night's sleep or you're in your natural environment for sleep, it's probably really hard to get an accurate diagnosis of this stuff too. So really interesting that you're kind of pulling in a bunch of different pieces to make this process so much easier for patients.
Yes. In fact, the uncomfortable setting can make the data biased, very much biased, right? Because people are not sleeping in their comfortable environment.
Of course.
So we are offering them at-home sleep testing. So that will be like so comfortable, and I think many people will love it. Because some people, they don't even know that they have sleep apnea, and they want to get diagnosed, but guess what? They have to wait a long time, right?
Yeah.
So they can get our device and test it at the comfort of their own home, and just get to know whether they have sleep apnea or not.
That's wonderful. So, introducing any new technology to the world requires trust, right? Or trust on users' parts. But with the systems that you're trying to change, it comes from a clinician level, right? What my doctor tells me is typically what I believe and what I, go forward with as an informed opinion or informed information or informed medication. And so gaining the trust of those clinicians, is one of the most important things that you're doing within this process. What does it take to gain their trust, and how much of that is going into the way you've developed the product today?
So to answer that, I would say we haven't be at the position where we have started the sleep clinic test yet. But the process we have worked on is like we designed the sensor based on the shareholders. We have done the market study. We have talked with the professionals in this industry, and they have told what are the shortcomings of the current solutions that they are using. And plus, we have we have worked very closely with the sleep physician, who is guiding us in terms of like design and in terms of like how it should be actually. And we have also conducted 20 participant test at the human kinetics department.
Awesome.
With comparing it simultaneously with spirometer, which is a medical grade device.
Okay.
So what does spirometer do is like it measures your breathing. So it tells how much volume of air you exhale and inhale. Mm-hmm. And one of the issue with the sleep apnea is that it happens because your airway is blocked. So you are not breathing properly, and it's directly reflected in your breathing, whether it's through like you will see a uneven rhythm in your breathing in that way. So we have directly compared with a clinical equipment, our device, and it is working as per the clinical equipment. Right now we have also introduced the AI, and which has 94% accuracy. So what we have done is like we have 20 participant data, and we trained our AI model based on the data from the 20 participant and the data from the clinical equipment. So how accurate was our device? It was 94% as per the clinical equipment.
Adding to what Bhwaya was telling on this one, in the past 1 week when we were talking to people about this particular device, we have seen at least 5 people, either them or someone in their family waiting for the sleep study. Mm-hmm. So which is like a long waiting list, it's like more than 6 months. So when we said about our device, they are super excited. So we see a big market here, even in Windsor Essex region.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh, that's amazing. So I know you're marching towards validation and for those first commercial trials or clinical trials, I would say. What are some of the hardest decisions you've had to make as business owners and leaders getting ready for that next step in your business?
So I have led this entire project from the point where it was just a concept.
Yeah.
Then we had like proof of concept, and then finally we had the minimal viable product ready. So the biggest problem was to do the design the experiment. What were the parameters that we have to look for? And sometimes the experiment does not work like the first time success,
Yeah.
So we have to do it multiple times, and that is why we took a good amount of time. Like we started this entire study in 2023, and right now we are here to present our product ready to go.
Incredible, and such a long period of time to be in development, and really interesting that the product itself, there was a lot of design considerations and a lot of feedback that you had to take in to get it ready, but it was how you're testing it out. Those experiments are what really has to be designed carefully in order to show whether or not this thing is effective, which is just so interesting to me. You're both at this stage where ScaleUp is closing in the next little bit. We still have our pitch to go, but we're coming up to that point where the program kind of ends. So, your work with WEtech is only just beginning. What are some of the things that you feel are a little bit more clear for you as founders as you head into the closing of this program?
So we joined this ScaleUp program to commercialize our product, and right now we can clearly see the path. We have the blueprint design. We are contacting the manufacturer to make the first 100-200 batches of the product, which we can send it to sleep clinic for pilot runs. So we can clearly see our path, and it has definitely accelerated our go-to-market part of the business.
Wonderful. Well, you're going to change a lot of lives with this product. We have full faith in that at WEtech and your coaches and team here. And so we're so grateful to be a part of this journey with you and cannot wait to see it continue to develop and get into the hands of real-world patients. So thank you so much, and we'll be watching.
Thank you so much for inviting us.
Yep.
Thank you.
Thank you.